What's going on, everybody? This is dkdynamite, and tonight I'm wearing Adler's blue jacket, a brand new skin that got added, which I'm a big fan of, and you'll see later on in the gameplay, but it's also blue because we got blue-balled by the supposed Nuke event that was going to happen in Warzone quite some time ago, and in tonight's video we're going to be talking about how to trigger this quote-unquote Nuke event with a cutscene, and we're also going to be talking about some updates for Black Ops Cold War that you may not have heard of yet. Definitely stay tuned, but before we jump into that, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below, and also be sure to use code DYNAMITE if you want to save 10% on any Control Freak orders. Their link is, of course, down below in the description. So where do we even start? With the beginning of Season 1 in Black Ops Cold War, I was like Adler. I'm like, alright, we got a job to do. We have a brand new Easter egg on Rebirth Island, which took me 24 hours to record perfect footage of to get you guys the best possible guide out there. And you know what? I am one of 2 people here on YouTube that actually recorded every location for the photographs and where all the hidden numbers are in all the rooms. There was no point in recording a guide for that if you weren't going to show all those locations. So I'm glad I finally did that, and I also provided a visual map for those who don't want to watch the entire video. So that video is also pinned down below. Hopefully you guys find that useful. But now when it comes to a Nuke event, what exactly is going on? So earlier today, new intel was added into Warzone, and by completing this intel, a 3+ minute long cutscene actually played in the menus of Modern Warfare. And I'm like, wait a second, this is funny enough, the same 3+ minute long cutscene that I reported on many months back. I think it was back in July when I first reported on it. Insiders also supported that yes, there was a pretty long cutscene that hadn't released in Modern Warfare yet, and we all presumed that it could have been a cutscene for the Nuke event or for the transition to the new Black Ops Cold War Warzone map, but it was neither of those. So why today of all days, right? Why drop this big cutscene when Season 1 just started in Black Ops Cold War? Maybe it means that a new content drop is right around the corner for Modern Warfare, which will feature new operators such as Soap, new weapons, as well as new maps. Maybe that's why they dropped the cutscene today of all days, right? Why not drop it before Season 1 started, or even before Black Ops Cold War released, when Modern Warfare was still fully active with the Call of Duty cycle? But weird timing, right? And the cutscene itself shows Task Force 141 disarming the supposed nuke that Zakhaev wanted to set off, and Zakhaev was then thrown off of the balcony by Price. He's presumed dead now. So was this a cliffhanger for Modern Warfare 2, or was this just a peaceful ending for the Modern Warfare story until more content is added in the future? The cutscene was codenamed Warzone Finale, so with that being said, Modern Warfare may not get any big updates story-wise for the foreseeable future. Let's just see what happens with that. But you know what I'm already seeing? People out there saying there was no Nuke event, it was all made up, people were clout chasing, one never existed, and I'm like, alright, the Call of Duty community has a really big problem, and you know what that problem is? They don't understand game development, right? I'm not a developer, I'm not a QA tester, I'm none of that, but I'm able to understand this common sense, right? In game development, things could be set in stone one day and fully scrapped or removed the next day. It reminds me perfectly of Zombies Chronicles 2, Modern Warfare 2 Remastered multiplayer, things that were 100% happening, backed up by several insiders who reported so many things that came true, and all of a sudden that content was just moved, scrapped, or changed for whatever reason. We're also in a pandemic with COVID, which means developers are working from home. They may not have enough time to polish something as ambiguous as a live event in Call of Duty. It was reported a while back too that the live event for the Black Ops Cold War reveal, which happened in Warzone, was pushed back a few times as well because there are a lot of issues and bugs with the event itself. So live events in Call of Duty may not be that easy to accomplish, unlike, games like Fortnite or other things out there. So maybe it's just not possible right now with the pandemic circumstances to get a live event off the ground. So they were like, you know what? We can't get the Nuke event done. Let's just drop the cutscene through different means. Maybe that's what happened, but people out there are also like, what's the logic in nuking Verdansk? And you know what? Me personally, I believe that there is still potential for an event like that. I think if a nuke event happened and destroyed Verdansk, it would be from some unknown adversary, right? Not Zakhaev, but somebody else, some other forces out there which destroy Verdansk. I get the logic of like, why would we nuke ourselves? It doesn't make sense. It almost happened, but it was stopped, right? Zakhaev almost set that off, but we ended up stopping it. But you know what? I never thought of the logic behind this nuke event storyline-wise, because look at how messy the story is right now. It kind of made sense when it was just an expansion to the Modern Warfare campaign, but now with Black Ops Cold War in the mix, the timeline is all over the place. And how does this work at all with the Black Ops 2 story, right? Modern Warfare 2019 takes place supposedly 5 years before Black Ops 2, and the timeline just doesn't make sense right now. There are too many plot holes, so I'm like, I don't know what's going on. So I wasn't really focused on the logic behind the Nuke event, but you know what? One still could happen in 2021 when the actual new Warzone map releases, which will be on the same scale as Verdansk, a map just as big as not bigger, which will feature many areas of the fire team maps and other Black Ops Cold War themed locations. That is still happening. People are still confused with what Rebirth Island really is. It's just a bonus map to sit alongside Verdansk right now. Just how Alcatraz sat alongside Blackout back during Black Ops 4, Rebirth isn't replacing Verdansk whatsoever, and it'll probably always sit there in the matchmaking playlist. So with that being said, when a new map is introduced in 2021, probably in February or March, maybe the 1-year anniversary of Warzone, when that map comes out, it'll probably replace Verdansk for quite some time. And like Apex, maybe Verdansk will return in the future, and there'll be like a playlist where you can pick one map over the other. That'll probably happen, because when a new map releases, they're probably going to want all the spotlight on that map and not the original map, which is Verdansk. So let's see what happens with that, but I think at some point Verdansk will go away. There will be some downtime like Fortnite at some point, and then we'll see a new map entirely, which gets rid of Verdansk. But with the Nuke event, don't listen to people out there that are saying that it never happened, or that it never was going to happen, and that it was fake or made up. There was clear as day evidence, which many insiders out there 100% supported. So that is the fact with the supposed Nuke event. But now when it comes to Black Ops Cold War, we have a few updates that you guys may not have heard of. So first off, the Prestige Shop is now available in Black Ops Cold War, which to me is kind of confusing since it was supposed to actually release with the start of Season 1. It just didn't for whatever reason, but as of earlier today, it was finally released, and we should all have 3 Prestige keys at this point in time, unless you guys have already hit max rank and you have more keys, but you can't actually redeem your keys until you hit Prestige Master for the season, which is level 200, but right now, if you guys are level 200, you could actually redeem your keys, which is awesome. And you can see quite a few different icons there, as you can see, and some legendary icons which I think aren't released yet, but some of them are. We have icons coming from Modern Warfare 2, Call of Duty Ghost, Black Ops 2, so we'll be able to get as many icons as we want once we actually unlock a sufficient amount of prestige keys. But it's also worth noting that if you go to the level of prestiges on the right tab, you'll notice that right now there are slots for 4 additional prestiges to be added every single season, and that means there will be 6 seasons in total if you add all of that up. So just like Modern Warfare, this game will see 6 seasons, hopefully more, but as of now, only 6 are planned. We also have some cool calling cards that you can see, which are legendary from previous Call of Duties as well. Even some from Blackout, which is surprising. So I think going forward in the future with this new prestige system, we'll probably see the system adapted in every future Call of Duty, where it's essentially a reskin version of the officer ranks from Modern Warfare, just with the name Prestige slapped onto it, and the ability to then pick whatever icon you want to use when you play multiplayer or zombies, which is pretty damn cool. And also, we got some promotional art for Black Ops Cold War, which actually showcased a Flamethrower, which has yet to be released. So on this promotional art for Raid, we can clearly see somebody using a Flamethrower. So will it be a kill streak in the future, or something we could find, you know, off the ground randomly in certain maps? Who knows how this will work, but I assume it'll just be a new kill streak. And just like with the, the HARP, the new orbital VSAT, I think every single season, will introduce a brand new kill streak into multiplayer. And the Flamethrower will probably be one of them, but let's just see what happens with that. But let me know your thoughts on this down below in the comment section. This has been dkdynamite. To end off this video, let's go ahead and talk about how to actually unlock the brand new intel for Warzone, which triggers the brand new Nuke event cutscene. So if you go over to the missions on the Warzone menu, go over to missions and you'll see the War Room challenge. So click on that, view intel, and now you want to hop into the game and go right by Bunker 10. Right in front of Bunker 10, you'll see a golden coin on the ground. Go ahead and pick that up, and right there you have the intel. But the problem with intel in Warzone, in my opinion, is that you have to go back to the menu, view the next intel, before you hop back into the game to collect the next piece. It gets frustrating, takes a couple of restarts, but you only have to collect 5 total pieces of intel for this cutscene. So go back to the menu, same spots, view intel. Now you want to head over to the monument, which I marked on screen for you guys as well. Head up there, and a backpack will be sitting right there on the ground. Pick that up, and boom, you are done with the intel. What's weird about this intel though is that this specific piece could be found in 3 different locations on the map. I just gave you guys one of the easier ones, so definitely go to this one. But if you pick up this intel from any one of the 3 spots, it still unlocks just the same way. But what's weird about this is that now when you go back to the menu, you'll see that you actually unlocked 2 pieces of intel. So now we moved on to intel number 4. So they skipped 3 for whatever reason. Could be a bug. Who knows what's going on with that, but EXPs can be found by a campsite near the prison. I've marked that on the map as well. Head over here, hold square, and boom, you are done with this. There are also some very interesting story implications with the Requiem group, which is zombies connected. I'll make a separate video on that in the future. But yeah, there's intel in Warzone that's tied to Die Maschine, so that's pretty damn interesting. We next up have a piece of intel in the prison shack, which I've also marked on screen. And this one was kind of weird because I'm like, all right, they make us actually unlock the prison shack for this one. And the code for the prison shack is very clear as day on screen. I'll put it in slow motion so you can clearly see it. Hop in the prison shack, and I think it's the VHS tape or the TV. I wasn't too sure, but I held square right when I walked in and I unlocked the intel. I wasn't even sure what I grabbed, but there you have it right as you walk in there. And last but definitely not least, we have one final piece of intel, which is on the roof of a building near the hospital area of Verdansk. So view that intel, hop in game, and once you get to this rooftop, look up and you'll see the final piece of intel, which actually broadcasts a code to abort the nuke, which the KF was trying to set off for the cutscene. But that is about it, everybody. Really hope you've enjoyed this. Again, it's kind of weird that a 3+ minute long cutscene in full CGI was just added in by completing some intel instead of an Easter egg or a live event, but it's better than nothing. We got closure for this nuke event arc. Maybe we'll get more explanation to this in the future by other insiders. But as of now, that is it. Modern Warfare is over, and it'll be officially over once the final content pack releases with soap and some weapons and some new maps. But that is about it. Hopefully you've enjoyed. More videos on the way for Season 1 of Black Ops Cold War, and peace out, everybody.
Guys, report. At the Tower of Ghost. We hacked Zakayev's comms. He's up. Stand by.
Our victory today will be decisive. Together, we put a knife to the neck of history. It's time now for the final cut.
All stations be advised. Zakayev's lighting the fuse. We don't have much time. Farah, where are you?
At the entry with Alex, creating a diversion.
Guards are coming our way now, actual.
Keep them busy.
They came to Verdansk to stop us, but they couldn't resist fighting each other. This war is 50 years in the making. No more treaties, no more diplomacy. These weapons will no longer lie dormant. Your work is not in vain, Father. Show yourself. You're wasting your time.
Victor.
Captain Price, I am not surprised.
You're a dead man, Zakayev.
I started a war. Killing me won't stop it.
Oh, I won't kill you. But the fool will.
Wait.
All stations. Zakayev is dead, but the missile is hot. Nick, I need the codes now.
Copy. Use context flow.
6.
1.
1.
5.
5. Say again. Nick. Say again, I've lost you, Nick. Bloody hell, Nick, the last digit.
7. 6. 1. 5. 7.
Call signs this net. Launch is terminated. Mission accomplished.
This isn't over.
Not by a long shot.
McTavish to actual.
So, what's your position?
Have a click off the coast. Things are really heating up out here.
Hold tight. We're moving your way. On me.